Don't make these costly mistakes when it comes time to selling your home in a hot seller's market like we're seeing here in Salt Lake City. And today's list, I'm not going to give you the typical cheesy ones like making sure your numbers are visible when you list your home and things like that. So stay tuned. Hi, this is Melissa Ballman, and I'm a real estate agent here in the greater Salt Lake City area. So what that means, if you're looking at making a real estate move, I'd love to connect with you. Shoot me a text, send me an email, do what you got to do, but get in touch with me. But first, today, I want to talk to the sellers out there who are considering selling their home in this hot seller's market and mistakes that sellers are making that are costing them money. So the market is really confusing right now. You have homes that are going for record prices very quickly, multiple offers, and then now we're starting to see some homes that are sitting on the market. We're seeing price drops, things like that. So what are you supposed to do as a seller? Well, some of the biggest mistakes that I see sellers making in this market is different than what you would see in a normal, healthy market conditions where it's pretty even with buyers and sellers and negotiations are happening and things like that. So one of the top things that I would say is you may not need to do as much updating or repairs as you would have to in a more neutral or buyer's market. So I'm not saying that you should just skip everything and just put it on the market. That's not what I'm saying. But focus on things that are less expensive. Maybe not doing a full kitchen remodel or updating the bathroom, because buyers are so desperate for a home right now that they will be willing to do some sweat equity and do updates that you don't traditionally see in a buyer's market or a more neutral market. So maybe just paint the walls that are looking kind of dingy, clean your carpets, maybe put laminate flooring down if it's not astronomical. Small repairs like that will make a difference. Next, make sure you have a plan. Like I said, some homes are going so fast. Sellers are surprised at how fast they're selling the home and how quickly they're getting a great offer that they can't pass up. So you want to make sure you know where you're going and what your plan is right away. You want to make sure that you have places to put your stuff, because no matter what the market is, you do want to declutter your home before you list it for sale and try to get some of your personal belongings out of there. Now, it's not as critical as a natural, normal market conditions, but you still want to take pride in your home, which brings me to the fact that take pride in your home. Oftentimes in this market, you're seeing pictures with people's cell phones, and they're not taking pride in what they're doing with professional photography. The homeowners, I see comments all the time on classified ads where people are making comments about kids still in photographs, playing video games for their home listing, and sellers saying, it's okay, it's a seller's market, I don't need to clean up my house. Well, you really should. It will make a difference in what people are offering and getting those buyers in the door, because it doesn't matter the market conditions. The rule always is and always has been, you only get one chance to make a great impression from the get-go. Not understanding the offers that you have. This is a big one. This is one that I experience all the time with buyers. And I think to myself, what are the sellers thinking? What advice were they given? I just don't understand it. So you really need to understand the offer. You need to understand if the buyer is offering appraisal gaps. Don't just look at the sales price and say, oh, this person's offering $500,000 and this one's offering $525,000. $525,000 is obviously better. That's not the case, especially with interest rates right now being so volatile and going up so quickly. You could have a cash buyer at $500,000 that can close in 1 to 2 weeks, and you can have an offer for $525 with a loan that's possibly going to need repairs to close the loan, that's not going to be able to pay out of pocket if a loan appraisal problem comes up. So there's all different moving parts in this crazy market that you really need to understand, and also be able to think outside the box on solutions to those. I hope you're enjoying my videos so far today. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell. That way you're alerted each week when I drop a new video. And if you're on Facebook, jump on over to our private community page called Salt Lake Life. And there we talk about all things and activities happening around the greater Salt Lake City area and really Utah as a whole. We're seeing a lot of buyers waiving contingencies. Well, what does that mean for you as a seller, and what's best? For instance, let's take that example I just gave of the $500,000 offer and the $525,000. Well, sellers are in a unique position right now where they're listing homes way more than what is supported with comps. So if you have a loan buyer and it's contingent on appraisal, let's say that home is only going to list or sell for or appraise for maybe $480,000 or $490,000. Well, that's not going to do you any good to have a $525,000 buyer if they don't have an appraisal guarantee like your $500,000 buyer. Or they may also not have the cash to come up to close. So you want to look at people's down payments. You want to look at their reserves and see how viable it is that they're going to follow through with this purchase, because we are seeing a lot of homes coming back on the market for buyers failing to follow through. And that brings me to my next big point. Don't take an offer from a buyer that is getting a loan without talking to their lender and getting a better idea of how solid they are if things come up during the transaction and they have to bring more money to close because of those appraisal issues or necessary repairs, anything like that. You want to make sure you get a good feel from their lender. And it drives me nuts. I make sure that I call all the lenders on buyers that my sellers are considering taking, because it's a critical step in a real estate agent's job to check with the lender and look out for their seller's best interest. Even though it's a seller's market, don't price your house too high, okay? It is possible that you're gonna weed out a lot of buyers that could potentially be interested in your home, and you priced it too high and wiped out, 25% of your buyer pool by listing high to see what happens. In these market conditions, if you price your home right, you're going to have multiple offers in most cases right now, and that is going to drive up the sales price. Now, I'm not suggesting that you price your house ridiculously low. If you know it's going to sell for $500,000, don't price it at $400,000. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying price it adequately. Don't go off of what Zillow says your Zestimate is, because hint, hint, there's a reason they lost money in their iBuyer program using their algorithm and buying homes too much. You want a professional to give you a CMA, which is a comparative market analysis of what's truly going on in your neighborhood and what your home could theoretically sell for and appraise for. And finally, if you are in a multiple offer situation, go back to your top 2 offers that you're considering and renegotiate things if there's something in there that you don't want. Like I said at the beginning, buyers are really trying to get homes. They're frantic for homes because our inventory is so low and our demand is so high. So don't think that what they send you, even though they say it's their highest and best, is actually what could happen, because you have buyers out there who may be willing to give you a little bit more than what they presented. So a couple examples of what I mean by that is your top 2 offers. If you want to see non-refundable earnest money, go back to them and say, are you willing to give non-refundable earnest money? That could make or break the transaction for your client, for your buyer. If you need a lease back, whatever it is, go back and negotiate. Once something is signed and accepted in writing, then all bets are off. You're locked into that contract. But until then, you can have verbal negotiations between agents, buyers, and sellers to get you the best deal possible. I hope you enjoyed my video today. If you have any real estate related questions, I'd love to connect with you. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm always here to help. But as always, make it a great day.